Okay, so today we're doing number stories with several add-ins. That means we're adding more than two things together. So the first one says, Jose bought milk for 35 cents, apple juice for 55 cents, grape juice for 45 cents, and orange juice for 65 cents. How much money did he spend? So we know that he spent all these different amounts, 35, 55, 45, and 65. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to write those numbers down here. I'm going to say 35, and we're adding it together, plus 55, plus 45, and then plus 65. So I need to add these four numbers up in order to get my answer. So if this were me doing it, I would think about adding two numbers at a time. And at first I would start with 35 and 55. You can add those, you could do like this, you could do 35 plus 55 and add one right over the other, and that would be 0 and carry the 1. It would be 90. And then I would add the 90, I might add the next two numbers together. So I'm going to say 35 plus 55 is 90. Or you could just know, you don't have to set it up like this, you could just know that 40 plus 60 equals 100, and 5 plus 5 equals 10, so you could just know that that equals 110. So I like to do two numbers at a time, and then add the two numbers together. So then I have 90 plus 110, and that is going to equal, I know that equals 200. And again, you can set it up however you add it is fine, but this is how I choose to do it. And so my answer is 200, so equals 200. That's my number model right here. 35 plus 55 plus 45 plus 65 equals 200. So when this question asks me how much money did he spend, I have to think about how I'm going to answer this question. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could say 200 and then cents for the unit, and always make sure you put that unit on. Some of you are still forgetting to put your unit. Okay, so 200 cents. Or I know that 200 cents equals $2. So instead of saying 200 cents, I could say $2 for my unit. Okay, so but I wouldn't want to say 2 cents or $200. So you got to make sure that that's correct. Now when I fill out this total and parts diagram, the previous ones that we've done have been just only one total with two parts. Well, this is going to be one total with four parts, because there's four numbers that we added up. And we know that the total is 200, because that's our answer. I'm going to write that right in there. Then all the parts are pretty much the things in our number model here that we added up. So there's going to be 35, 55, 45, and 65. Okay, and then our check. How do you know your answer makes sense? There are many ways you can check. You could do 200 and then subtract each of these numbers one at a time and see if you end up at 0. Or subtract these three numbers and see if you end up at 35. You could do a ballpark estimate and tell me, round all these numbers and then make an estimate of what you think it would be. And if it's close, you could say you used a ballpark estimate. You could add the numbers in a different way. So see how here I did 35 and 55 equals 90, and then 45 plus 65 equals 110. So I could also I could say, instead of doing it this way, I could do 65 plus 35. I know that equals 100. And then I could do 55 plus 45 plus 45. That equals 100. And I know that 100 plus 100 equals 200. So I could say I checked by, and then just tell me how you checked. I checked by subtracting and then show your work. I checked by a ballpark estimate, show your work. In this case, I checked by adding a different way. And I'm always writing a nice sentence here. Okay, a different way. Okay, and this is what we're going to be working on for the next couple of days. So number stories with several add-ins.